Okay, truth. How many social media channels should you really be on? The answer is, well, it's kind of embarrassing, but we're going to get into it in this episode of the podcast because it's time to ditch this scattered approach and find one that actually works. Imagine that, a social media campaign that actually produces results. What? Let's do it. Hello and welcome back to the Content Box, your full-service marketing solution. My name is Matt Tompkins of Two Brothers Creative, and today we're going to answer a question that is, I think, on every marketing director's mind, every business owner's mind, anybody who is on social media trying to grow their business in some form or fashion, I think struggles with this. It's a very common question that we get and deal with, and the question is, how many social media channels should you be on? For real. Like, how many? I mean, I don't even know how many are there anymore. We got Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. Then you have Twitter. I mean, X, whatever we want to call it these days. You got Snapchat. Is that a thing I need to use for my business? I don't know, OnlyFans. Does that count on the list? I mean, the list goes on and on and on of all these different social channels. You got Quora, Threads, I got to participate in that. And then Facebook groups, no, that's like a whole separate thing. And then, I'm supposed to use my personal profile now on LinkedIn instead of my company profile. And should I do articles or should I do posts? I mean, I think I'm overwhelming myself just describing all the things and options that there are out there right now. So today we're going to simplify it because there is an answer to that question. And I'm going to give the answer to you right now, okay? How many social media channels should you be on? One. I want to start with one, all right? Because it sounds maybe a little ridiculous and simplistic because you're like, wait, what? I can't just one? No, I got to be where everybody at, right? No, you don't. Ask yourself this question. Are you getting results from your current social media strategy, your campaigns? Are you legitimately getting business? Are you increasing revenue? Are you getting sales? Are you converting? If the answer to that is yes, then good job. You don't need this episode. I mean, well, you can listen to this episode. You probably gain something either way. You can improve that number, but good for you. If you aren't, then maybe it's time we try something different. And maybe it's time we kind of go back to the drawing board, as they say, and start over, okay? Let's reset, hit the reset button. And that's what we're going to do today. I want to walk through kind of the process that you should go through to identify which social media channel you should be on for your business. What is the primary social media channel that you're on? And then how are you going to identify the people, identify the content? How are you going to optimize that channel? And the accompanying PDF download here for this episode here today is a one-channel marketing sprint planner. So it's like a 30-day sprint on how you can set this up, get everything set, optimized, ready to go so that you can start seeing results. We need to be results driven. I think we focus too much on social media and it's easy to get kind of distracted by the glitz and glamour of like how many views did you get and how many people did you see somebody shared that? I mean, like I posted a photo of myself the other day and like a new profile pic. We got new photos for the company and the mayor of Omaha commented on it and I'm like, ooh. Then I thought to myself, I was going to take a screenshot of it and like send it to friends and I'm like, no, does that really matter? Like, no. I mean, like the mayor, we've done with my TV show in the past, we've done a bunch of like comedy sketches with the mayor and stuff. So it's not like the mayor's just randomly just, creeping on my socials or anything. But you have to keep this in perspective. All right. Here's an important statistic. I've seen this on a number of client websites where we look at the analytics of where the traffic comes from. Where are people coming from to visit your website? Because your website's your home base, right? That's where you want people to go. You own that. Like everything you post on social media, I'm sorry, but you don't own it. You've given it to Facebook and they're licensing it back to you. That's just how it works. That content could go away like that. That was a bad snap. Like that. There we go. I got to work on my finger snaps. Your website, though, you own. Your email list, you own. So you really want to craft this area. Your podcast, you own. That content, you own there, right? That's yours. So you want to get them to your home base. But when you look at the analytics, it is pretty common to see between 80 and 90% of your website traffic is coming from organic search. People are finding you through Google searches, through YouTube searches. And when you look at the top 2 most visited websites on planet Earth, Google, right behind it, very close second, YouTube, which is Google, followed by TikTok. And it makes sense. The new marketing funnel and the way that it works today is different. People are seeing a brand, and your business is a brand, right? You, if you're the business owner or the marketing representative, you are a brand as well. Everybody's a brand now, really, which is a scary thought. But you are the brand. When they see the brand, what they do is they go do their own research. First step is going to Google or YouTube, searching this out. Then they're going to go to their social media platform of choice. They're not really going to go deeper than that. Usually they go to those are the main resources they go to. So if you identify, you have content on your website for that search results in Google and YouTube, and then the next thing is their social media platform. So this is why this is important. Yes, social media is going to only draw like 10, 20%, maybe on average of your website traffic. I mean, it varies. I'm speaking in kind of broad terms here, but it's better to identify what that primary social media channel is and focus all your efforts on that to really enhance that web traffic, right? So that's what we're going to do today in this episode of the podcast. We're going to go through the process of identifying your social media channel, what is your primary channel, and then how you can really leverage it and optimize it for full performance. All right, so let's go through the checklist, which you can download here in the show notes. The link is there for you. Okay, so step one is asking, what is your ideal marketing channel? Let's identify it. This is an exercise, I think, that's easy. It's kind of a simple way to look at this, but I want you to list out your top 3 ideal customer personas. Like, give them a persona and identity, and let's lay it out here. For each persona, I want you to identify, like, what are their top 2 to 3 social media platforms? Now, what social media platforms out of those top 3 overlap? Think of it like 70% of your audience, 70% of your current customer base, if you're trying to get more of them, or if it's a new customer, if it's a new ideal customer persona that you're going after, 70% of them, where are they spending the most time? Where are they spending the most time, right? If it's Facebook. If it's Instagram, put that down. It's easy to find resources and research on this. In fact, we'll include this in the show notes here for you today too. It is a link to, this would be like 2023's update on like performance and things people look at, but it's relative still to this day because it really showcases and highlights like what audiences are on each platform. Because I think we have some misconstrued concepts of like what audience is what on which platform. Like we think, oh, TikTok's just, 22-year-olds. No, it's not. It's evolved. Like that's a very kind of a diverse, different demographics these days. Same thing with Facebook. People think, oh, it's Facebook is just old people. No, it's not. Same thing with, why are people on, that's really the question, like why are people on these platforms? After you figure out which platform they're on, and then you need to decide and ask, why are they on that platform is probably a better question than like, what age is each platform? So identify what platform is the platform of choice that most of your audience, most of your customer base spends the most time. I think another kind of backup question is like, what platform do you spend most of the time on too? Because like you got to accept the reality. Let's say that the platform they're on all the time. Let's say your customers are like 80% female customers, and they do a lot of shopping online. And so you're looking at like, okay, Pinterest is like 80% female marketplace. It's a great click-through rate. So I'm going to leverage Pinterest. That's going to be my social media channel of choice. But let's say you've never been on Pinterest before. That's going to be a problem. It's going to be a challenge. So you're going to have a game plan for how you're going to hold yourself accountable and be disciplined to be posting and engaging and participating on this platform on a daily basis, okay? And if, let's say, your platform of choice is Facebook, that's where you spend all your time, and your audience is also on Facebook, then, man, that's a win-win. But you really need to be honest about, like, how hard is it going to be for you to actually participate on this channel that you've chosen to market your business? And just because you're not on the platform, you're not familiar with it, doesn't mean you should just abandon it. If your audience is there and that's where they want to be reached and that's where they want to get your content and that's how they want to connect with you, then it is your job, it's your responsibility to learn and adapt. I mean, that's part of the game here to grow the business and market the business. So there is a plan. You can stick to it. Like, I think an easy way to start is saying like, 15 minutes in the morning, 15 minutes in the evening, or 30 minutes in the morning, 30 minutes in the evening. You're spending time on these platforms every single day, just, participating and just kind of getting to know people, networking, kind of leveraging, not really selling anything, but just kind of getting yourself in the groove, in the discipline of daily participation. I think it's really important because that's going to help build the discipline and the routine that you need. All right. So now list the social media platforms that you have and find the one that aligns most for your business. Also identify which one you're most active on. And if it isn't one you're active on, make a note that you need to have a game plan like we just talked about for how you're going to approach marketing the business on this platform. Now, depending on the one social media platform that you have, look at how you can thrive. How can you really thrive on this particular channel? And you can do some research on this. It's not hard to find in the age of Google on what the behavior patterns are on different platforms for different types of businesses, okay? So let's say you're a B2B or a business to business. You're a business serving other businesses. Or you're B2C. You're a business serving customers, business to customer. Then the platforms are going to matter. Like, for example, Instagram, I'm not sure what the exact percentage is at this given moment, but earlier this year, the last report I had seen, it was about a 1% engagement for B2B content on Instagram. So that's pretty low, right? And then you look at other forms of content, let's say on LinkedIn, you're going to have a much higher because LinkedIn is a platform designed more for business to business. You have people, that's the mindset they're in. They're going to that platform. Same thing with Twitter or X, I don't know. I refuse to call it X and I don't know why, but it's Twitter, right? All right, whatever. All right. Twitter X, Twitter, the platform formerly known as Twitter. Okay, so you're on X or whatever. It is kind of a platform for breaking news, a lot of thought leaders, a lot of subject matter experts, and that type of content. It's moving quickly, so you're going to want to think and strategize on how can you leverage this, because it's really about more of a pulse of what's happening now in real time. But there are opportunities there, like video content. That's a way you can stand out on Twitter. People aren't leveraging video content on Twitter or LinkedIn to the maximum potential in which they could. So it's important to look at what are the behavior patterns on these different platforms and how does that align with your business, right? Facebook's going to have more general kind of a sense of what is going on. Like when I say general, I mean there's a little bit of everything, but still you want to identify what the opportunities are. Like, am I going to have a Reels strategy and Reels and story posts? Or I'm going to do daily story posts and then I'm going to back that up with Reels 3 to 4 times a week. And what types of Reels am I doing? I'll tell you with that marketing funnel, as far as how it works today, people are really resonating with behind the scenes content and how to content, because both of those, they provide something of value. Even the behind the scenes, you're showing who you really are. So the polished, over the top stuff, that's why I'm kind of anti Canva graphics these days, because they all look the same and they don't look genuine. It's usually not focused on people. Make your content real and authentic. And that's easy to do. You just have to think, okay, what do they want on this platform? They want something of value. And even if you're selling a product or a service, and let's say you're on TikTok and people are looking for more entertainment, you can still provide entertainment and nuggets of value within that. But you need to figure out what the behavior patterns are on these channels you're going to target so you can create the content that's going to fit those needs and fit really well. So once you've decided on the platform of choice, the next step is in this 30-day action plan is kind of building the foundation. So I want you to go through the channel. I want you to optimize the channel, as we say, but is all the information updated? Is it accurate? Do you have links? Do you have buttons? Are you taking full advantage of everything that every platform has to offer? Then I want you to set goals and set some tangible goals on not just initially I would say the first 30 to 90 days, you can base these on performance because you really want to grow the channel itself, right? You want to grow this just engagement itself. And then you want to start setting goals that actually matter, the sales goals, the conversions. How are you going to get people from organic content to your website, especially when you're not going to be able to, and I'm not going to encourage you to include links to your website, because that can really hurt performance, and that's what these platforms don't want. And there's some sneaky ways around that, dropping it in comments and things like that more organically that can work. But overall, you really want to make this content about the content itself, okay? So it's organic content, all right? It has a value, it has purpose, it has intent, it's for a specific audience. That's what you want to see, and you want to track that performance over the first 30 to 90 days to give yourself enough data to make any sort of decisions for pivots and goals. So that's the first week. So week 2 is all about engaging with your audience, all right? So respond to every comment, every message, and respond quickly and promptly. Think of your comments and your messages as your phone ringing, if you're a business, if you had imagine those days where you had walls and all your employees were in the same place. Wonder what that was like. No, you have a business and the phone's ringing and you just don't answer it. You never answer it. What are the people who are calling you going to think? And that's what happens with these comments. I especially encourage you, and I think it's mandatory, you respond to negative comments. And there's a way you can handle this and manage this appropriately. You, as I say, kill them with kindness, right? You have to take the high road. Don't ever get into an argument. Most of the time, this has nothing to do with you. It's something else going on in their life. And so if you are just kind and sincere with them, there's a good chance they're going to turn around. You're going to win them over. But the important thing is everybody else sees how you're handling this. And that's a reflection of you and the core values of your company. So if you get into an argument and a back and forth, it's not going to look well. It's just not going to look well. And not just with that one person, but with everybody else who sees it. All right. A lot of different things you can run, joining groups, conversations. There's Quora threads, there's Reddit threads. A lot of different opportunities depending on where you're targeting. Facebook groups are, I think, really effective as far as targeting groups. But in these groups, you got to just participate. You have to have conversations and really be genuine in how you get to know people one by one. And you can't just be spamming people. You can't just be posting, and here's my link. It's just not going to work. It is, I think, a little overwhelming, and people don't want to put in the work because really it is like one by one you start to grow this audience. Now, you eventually hit a point where it'll snowball. If you do this, if you stick to it, if you commit to the process, it'll snowball, and it'll come fast and hard. And then that's where you have organic growth that'll just keep growing. It'll be like real estate to your investment portfolio. It just keeps paying off, but you have to commit to the process. And early on, you may not get results. All right. Early on, it's kind of painstaking. Every single day you're doing this, you're putting in the work, but maybe you're not seeing the direct results. You have to trust it. You have to commit to the process. In week 3, this is where you're going to maybe try some different formats and implement some of the content that you're creating. In our previous episode, we talked about our content box system, ways to create different pieces of content. Check on the posting times, like what posting times you're posting, looking at the analytics early on, I think is okay, but don't make too many big decisions. You need a good data sample pool before you do that. And that's where we come in week 4. So week 4 is when we're really going to reflect on the month. All right. And we're going to reflect on that one channel, how it has grown, how it has performed. And I think then you can make, if there are obvious pivots that you need to make, all right, like these videos are just getting nothing at, 6 a.m., we're going to adjust it. And we're going to look at the times, and it turns out 6 p.m. is actually when people are mostly on Facebook or whatever your channel is. Make those pivots and adjustments. That's okay. But you really need a large enough data sample pool to make any sort of decisions. And 30 days is the minimum. 30 days is the minimum. So don't base it week to week to week. Don't look at your analytics week to week and be like, oh, we're up, we're down. That's one thing that I will caution you on when looking at analytics, is that people will often look at oh, we were up 600% this month, and then the next month we're down 400%. What just happened? Well, you may have had one video that month that took off and drove those analytics, the numbers up. Well, then now you level back out the next month. It doesn't mean that you've done something bad and everything, the sky is falling. So you just have to really kind of look at a broader view of your analytics. And again, that takes patience, that takes commitment to the process, and knowing that, okay, I'm going to commit to this. I'm going to see this through, and I'm not going to make any rash decisions and pivots. I'm going to let the data, it's almost like planting a seed. You got to let the seed grow. You got to nurture this into a plant before you judge the plant, right? So the plant hasn't done anything. You got to wait to judge it. Is this a good marijuana tree? I don't know. I don't know. I've never grown marijuana, but I'm just saying, is this a good, what's the other one they have? What's the not jujitsu tree, bonsai tree. Although a jujitsu tree would be kind of fun too. Is that like a tree where it's has karate kick shaped leaves? I don't know. No, a bonsai tree. It's things like this take time. All right. Anything great is not accomplished overnight. And I think with social media, it's easy to have this everywhere on every platform all at once approach, because we think if we just do everything, we'll get everything. And the opposite happens. What ends up happening is you'll have dead channels that get abandoned because you can't keep up with that many channels when it's just you, right? It's just not realistic. So then you end up with dead channels, which is a bad look. You're also going to miss out on any messages or comments on those channels because you're not able to pay attention. And so that approach just doesn't work. It doesn't produce results. And I've never seen it. I've never seen anybody like a one-person operation or even a two-person operation doing marketing efforts take that approach and actually have it stick for the long term. It's kind of like the keto diet of marketing. Really, it is. Like this, every channel all at once strategy is kind of like the keto diet of marketing, where I'm going to do this. And yeah, you're going to lose some weight for 30 days. But then you know what happens with the keto diet? You stop and you gain more weight back than you lost. So it kind of defeats the purpose. So let's start and let's be practical. Let's approach this like we would a diet. It's a lifestyle change. And that's what this is. It's a one-channel lifestyle change. So commit to one channel, download the PDF, go through the exercise, give it 30 days, and then see where you're at. We have all the resources for you in the show notes. You can click away, download them. They are absolutely free. We are happy to help and answer any questions that you have. Our contact info in the show notes as well. I am Matt Tompkins. We'll see you next time on The Content Box.